tool sheds here. This is a piece of equipment that I sold. I sell equipment for a company. That's part of what I do along with my semi-retirement. And it was refurbished, but yet the company that I sold it to said they couldn't get it to working. So they sent it back. And I contacted the owner of the company that I sell for. And I said, you want me to hold on to this for you because you told me it was refurbished. And he said, well, it's kind of outdated. He goes, let's just not even worry about it. So he said, just scrap it. So I could just take it to the scrapyard along with other stuff, but I think I'm going to take it apart, see if there's any. Sometimes I'll take these things apart. Sometimes I'll take these things or things like this apart, and I find other components that I can take out and sell those parts and still make pretty good money off of them. Sometimes I just, pull out bits and pieces of copper and things like that and scrap the rest. So anyway, I'm going to pull this apart and see if there's anything in it of interest. You never know. Well, I got the side cover off, and there's several green boards in here, so I'll pull these off individually and look them up. And sometimes I sell these green boards for good money. And I will see if any of these are listable. If they're not, then I'll see if there's any gold on them, and I'll put them away for scrap gold. I've got some already put away for another. It's going to take some time to build up enough to make it worth my while. But I've started a scrap gold bucket, I guess you'd say, and I'll add to that if I need to. Here is my first board off. I'm going to look it up and see if it has any value to it on eBay. I don't see much gold on it. There may be some right here and here, and these lines got traces of it, I think. But anyway, there's not much else on here. I'll just see if there's any value of it on eBay. Pretty funny thing, I went and looked this very item up. I've already got one of these listed on eBay for $100, and it's been up there for a little while, so I lowered the price, and now I've got two of them listed. It's pretty funny. Oh, by the way, this shell is metal, so that's going to go into my scrap box for sure. I've got this next big board out, and this is probably the brains behind the entire thing. And I'm a little concerned right here, right in here. There's a lot of some industrial paint or something that's gotten in there through the fan. I don't know if that could have fouled anything. It doesn't look like it, but I found 2 or 3 contacts that were not making contact. So it's real clear to tell that they were going to have issues if they didn't take this apart and check everything out. But I don't like selling boards if I know they're bad. So I'm not sure. Sometimes those guys there have some pretty good gold in them. But I don't know if I should try to. I guess I'll look it up and see what it lists for. And at some point, the question is it some of this industrial paint that has caused it to foul? Or is it just because there was 2 or 3 things not hooked up? That's the question. Because at one time, this had been a refurbished board when, it was refurbished, and then the company that my company got it from just discontinued this piece of equipment, and we sold it as a refurbished piece. And so I don't know where that came from. It's hard to say. Well, I decided against this one. I just feel like the odds are stacked against me that there's a good chance that would come. I hate selling something feeling like there's a good chance it's bad, and then if they've got a bad part they need replaced, it's frustrating to them to get bad parts. It happens. It's not the end of the world. But I'll use this as scrap green board. After you get enough of it, you can sell it to people. The backing on it was, no, that's the hammer underneath. I thought that was aluminum. See, it's aluminum. So I'll put that away, scrap it. And I'll move on to some of this bigger stuff over here. Well, this is a little bit funny. All this thick wire that you see in here is tinned copper wire. It's copper wire, but it's coated with tin because of the elements, high heat or oxidation, moisture possibilities. So it's the funny thing, this costs more to buy it, but when you scrap it, it scraps for less than regular bare copper. So it's still copper, but it's going to get a little bit less per pound than the good stuff. Well, it looks like these little Toshiba modules sell for about $50 each used, so I'll take those off and list those. And this casing here is aluminum. This is a metal plate, a steel plate, but I'll get this. All this is a big aluminum piece here. I'll get a few bucks for it. So that's cool. Looks like I can list something else. That piece of aluminum is 4 pounds, 10 ounces. And I just looked up. It looks like aluminum's paying 65 cents a pound for extrusion, which I guess that's what they call this. I don't know. Anyway, there's a few bucks there. I'll go over real quick and get these 3 guys listed on eBay. And I'll put them each in a little baggie, and I'll go ahead and send the hardware with them because they seem to appreciate it when you do that whenever you can. I don't always do that. So I've got those other pieces listed on eBay, but I noticed inside of here is some gold-plated fingers. I've pulled a few of them out. So I'll put this away in my scrap gold. One of these days I'm going to extract that scrap gold once I get enough of it. So I went ahead and just pulled off all those gold fingers, and I've got this box here, gold scrap stuff, and I've got tubes with gold fingers in them. And so I'll just add that over to that. And I'll eventually have enough of this to make it worth my while to go for a little gold bead. I also listed this fan used on eBay for 25 bucks. I'm also listing these capacitors for another $35. Okay, I've pretty much got this thing broken down. Over here on my laptop table, I've got several items that I've listed on eBay. I got the green board that I'm not going to try to sell. I think it may be damaged. And I gather these up, and I'll probably just sell. There's a company online. If you get over 50 pounds of it, you can sell it to them, and you'll work out some type of price with them. I got my old gold fingers in over there, a little bit of brass. Here's all my aluminum right here. Here's that tin coated copper insulated wire and just some random wires. This is all just steel. And all this stuff, the nuts and bolts and things, I add all this up too, and I just throw it in with all the steel. When I throw it all off, I'll just throw all that off too. And it doesn't weigh a lot, but it'll be, when I'm done, it'll be several pounds. So all of this stuff will get taken out to my shed and separated into its proper places until I'm ready to go to the scrap yard. All right, that's about it. I'm going to make a little bit off of it. I'm sure in time those things will sell on eBay, and then a few bucks for this other scrap stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later. Tomorrow I'm getting pennies. I need to go get a bunch more pennies for the year.